Hi everyone, I'm Aurora from Susan's family. Today I'm bringing you a new item, a planter storage box, puppy version. The storage box is divided into the flower pot, the floral foam, decorations and assembly. Each part is crocheted separately and then assembled together. First, let's learn the crocheting method for the pot. The pot is worked onto a pre-made acrylic base, crocheted in rounds counterclockwise. During the crocheting process, you'll need to insert a mesh board and cotton stuffing. Before starting, let's go over the chart. In the chart, our plus number indicates the round number. The stitch instructions column shows the stitch pattern for that specific round, including the stitch techniques used, and whether increasing or decreasing is needed. The total stitches column indicates the total number of stitches after all the stitches in that round are completed. Start with round 1. Before crocheting, remove the protective film from the acrylic board. There's film on both sides. If it doesn't peel off easily, use scissors to help. Remove the film on the other side using the same method. Once settled, continue crocheting. Here I'll continue using this small acrylic board to demonstrate the crocheting method. Face either side of the acrylic board toward you. Take the corresponding yarn. The sample uses random colors, specific yarn, color scheme, and hook size. Please refer to the detail page of our product and the paper instructions. Leave a yarn tail and make a slip knot. Make this yarn loop slightly larger. Insert the hook into any hole on the acrylic board. Hook the yarn out. Adjust the loop size. Make it level with the edge of the acrylic board. After completing that, begin our 1. First, make 1 chain as the turning chain for single crochet. This beginning chain isn't marked in the chart. When crocheting in rounds, you always start by making a beginning chain. Beginning chain doesn't count as a stitch. To conveniently mark the first stitch, place a stitch marker on the loop on your hook. To mark it, if you don't have a stitch marker, you can use a paperclip or safety pin instead. The stitches inside parentheses form a group. Curly brackets mean the same as parentheses. X, followed by a number, indicates how many times to repeat. First, crochet the stitches inside the parentheses. The number before X tells you how many single crochets to make. This means to make 2 single crochets in one space. When crocheting, place the yarn tail over your hook and pull through together. The loop you pull through should be level with the edge of the acrylic board. Complete this stitch. After finishing the first stitch, take a look. The stitch marker marks the first stitch. Continue by making another single crochet in the same small hole. That completes the stitches inside the parentheses. Make 2 single crochets in the next hole. Now you've repeated it twice. Make 2 single crochets in one space. Next is 3x, which means in the next small hole, make 3 single crochets. That completes the stitches within the curly brackets. Repeat the pattern within the larger brackets for the required number of times. Continue all the way down the holes on the acrylic board. Before working the last stitch, you can continue to mark it with a stitch marker. After completing, check the stitch count. The total stitches for each round are indicated in the chart. I won't repeat this reminder anymore. The stitch count on the swatch is not for actual reference. After finishing this round, Join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Pull tight. The joining slip stitch does not count as a stitch. Make sure to pull tight. The slip stitch is not indicated in the form. When crocheting in rounds, always finish by joining with a slip stitch and pull tight. The first round is complete. We'll consider the side with neat texture of the first round as the right side of the piece. The wrong side has a relatively blurry texture. Cut off any unfinished yarn tails. Move on to crochet round 2. Our 2 is 13 single crochets, increase, times 6. Make 1 chain as the beginning chain for the single crochet. This beginning chain is not marked in the chart. When crocheting in rounds, you always start by making a beginning chain. We won't remind you of this again later. Also note, to make it easier to join with a slip stitch at the end of each round, you can mark the loop on your hook after completing the beginning chain for single crochet each round. Mark the loop on your hook. Actually, you may choose whether or not to mark based on your preference. Then work 13 single crochets. Also note, to keep the stitch pattern neat, you can pull the yarn slightly to the left when making each stitch. This helps reduce angling in the stitches. After crocheting this way, the texture of the stitches will be straight and vertical. After completing, work 1V single crochet increase. That means 2 single crochets into the same stitch. This completes the single crochet increase. The stitches inside the parentheses are now completed. Repeat the stitch pattern inside the parentheses. Continue all the way around to complete the round. The last stitch of this round should be worked into the last marked stitch of the previous round. After completing, work a slip stitch into the first stitch of the round to join. Pay attention, at the end of each round, always join with a slip stitch to the first stitch, and pull tight. Round 2 is completed. Continue to crochet round 3. Make 1 beginning chain, then refer to the pattern and work 7 single crochets. One single crochet increase. Then crochet 7 more single crochets. This completes the stitch pattern inside the parentheses. Repeat the stitch pattern inside the parentheses. Continue all the way around to finish the round. After completing, join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Pull tight. The third round is complete. Continue crocheting from round 4 to round 7. The stitch techniques used have all been demonstrated before. The increases and decreases explanation means the same as before. Everyone just follow the stitch pattern order in the table, and repeat the corresponding number of times. At the end of each round, remember to join with a slip stitch in the first stitch, and make sure to pull the slip stitch tight. Among them, rounds 6 to 7. Work even means to crochet each stitch correspondingly. Here's the small sample after it's completed. Because it's a swatch, there are fewer rounds. The fabric has raised textures as your guide. Starting from this round on the acrylic board, count upward. The number of raised textures equals the number of rounds crocheted. This swatch here has 5 rounds crocheted. This is the method for counting rounds. Also remember, once the 7th round is complete, you need to measure the height and compare it with the dimension given in the chart. If there's a big difference in size, adjust your hand tension and recrochet. Now continue to crochet the 8th round. Make 1 beginning chain, then work 17 single crochets. After that, make 1 a short stitch decrease. First, make 2 incomplete single crochets separately. Insert into the left stitch, yarn over and draw through. 1 incomplete single crochet is done. Crochet 1 more stitch, insert into the left stitch, yarn over and draw through. Now you've completed 2 incomplete single crochets. There are 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and draw through all loops on the hook in once. The single crochet decrease is complete. Continue with 17 more single crochets. This completes 1 group in parentheses. Repeat this group pattern to finish the round. I'll demonstrate the single crochet decrease technique once again. First, make 2 incomplete single crochets. Then yarn over and draw through all loops on the hook in once. The single crochet decrease is complete. Continue following the chart to finish this round. Join with a slip stitch in the first stitch after completing. Round 8 is complete. Continue from now on up to round 19. No new stitch techniques are used. Just follow the chart and complete up to round 19. Continue using this swatch to demonstrate round 20. BLO means to crochet into the back loop of the stitch. Take a look. The stitch has 2 strands like this. The strand closer to you is called the front loop. The other strand is called the back loop. This entire round is crocheted by picking up only the back loops. Make 1 beginning chain. Then work single crochets into the back loop of each stitch from the previous round, 1 by 1. Complete this entire round. If it's hard to insert the hook into the first stitch, pull the yarn slightly to the right. Then continue crocheting. After completing the single crochet, you'll see a strand of yarn in front. That's the front loop of the previous round. Finish with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Round 20 is complete. Round 21 will be worked in the same way as round 20. Similarly, work single crochets into the back loop. Rounds 22 to 23 work even by picking up stitches from the corresponding positions of the previous round. Continue downward, follow the pattern chart to complete these rounds. Now I'll continue with this swatch to demonstrate round 24. Flow indicates working into the front loop of the stitch. Make 1 chain, then pick up the front loop of each stitch from the previous round, and work single crochets one by one. After completing the single crochet, you'll see a strand of yarn behind. That's the back loop from the previous round. Continue down to finish this round. After completing, join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Round 24 is complete. From here down to round 39. No new stitch techniques are used. Everyone continue to follow the pattern chart and complete these rounds. During the crocheting process, you'll encounter situations where you need to join yarn. Next, I'll demonstrate the method of joining yarn. First, work an incomplete single crochet, then take out the new yarn. Leave a yarn tail and pull the yarn through. This completes the single crochet, and at the same time joins the yarn. Continue crocheting downward. While crocheting, keep the yarn tail over your hook, and weave it in as you go. This is the method for joining yarn. This is the completed swatch. Then chain 1 to secure. Leave a yarn tail at least 4 times the circumference of the opening, to be used for sewing later. Now crochet round 40. First join the yarn. Make a slip knot with the yarn tail. Locate the stitches from round 26. Take a look. On the right side of the fabric, you'll see the front loop texture. Find where the front loop texture appears for 2 consecutive rounds. Here it's rounds 25 and 26. The stitches of round 26 are the insertion point. Then count down to round 23. That is the second round of picking up stitches without increasing or decreasing. Exit at the stitch position of round 23. Next, turn the last round downward. Join the yarn at the point where the hook is inserted. The insertion point here can start at any position around the round. The entry and exit points should be as straight as possible in a line. After pulling up a loop, adjust the loop size. Then pick the corresponding stitch positions one by one. Work SL slip stitch. Here, do not tighten the slip stitch. Continue all the way around until this round is complete. When reaching the last stitch position, make 1 slip stitch at the joining point. Leave a yarn tail and fasten off. Gently tighten. Then tuck all yarn tails to the wrong side. Tie the two yarn tails together with 2 knots to secure. This completes round 40. Next, assemble the flower pot. First, take out the grid panel. Wrap it around the acrylic board to determine the circumference. Here, both ends of the grid panel should extend beyond a bit. If it's too long, you can cut off the excess part. Then take the crocheted piece that was made, fold inward along rounds 20 to 21, that is, folding from bottom to top, so these 2 rounds with front loops will be in the front. After folding, the height should roughly match the flower pot's height. Once folded, fit the grid panel against the pot to check the height. Mindful not to let the grid panel exceed the height of the pot. Cut off the excess part of the grid panel. Pay attention, you can leave a few extra grids here, to prevent cutting too much at once, and losing room for adjustment later. After trimming is done, place the grid panel inside the fabric piece. Double check the height. Rounds 20 to 21 with front loops should be at the top. And the fabric should lie flat without sagging. Then take out the grid panel. Check the circumference again. After removing the grid panel, you can reduce it by about 2 grids. Then use stitch markers to secure the size. Next, take a separate piece of yarn. Thread the yarn needle. Take the overlapping side of the grid panel. Sew around using any method you prefer. Gently tighten as you sew. After sewing, you can again compare the size with the acrylic board. Note: the sewn grid panel should not extend beyond the acrylic board. If it does, you'll need to sew again. Tie a knot to secure the yarn tail. Trim off excess tail. This way the grid panel is securely fixed. Then place the grid panel on the inside of the fabric. Stuff fiberfill between the grid panel and the inner layer of the fabric. Fluff up the fiberfill slightly before inserting, then stuff it inside. Note that more decorations will be added later, so use less filling cotton here. Add more stuffing toward the lower part, and less toward the top. Don't overstuff. You can use a long tool or object to adjust the stuffing evenly. This is the sample swatch after stuffing is complete. Continue folding the fabric inward along rounds 20 to 21. Thread the reserved yarn tail onto a darning needle. Then sew the last round of single crochet stitches together with the first round stitches and the small hole. Make smaller intervals between stitches when sewing, so it will be tighter. Sew around in a circle like this, all the way around. When sewing, the last round of single crochet stitches don't need to be matched up exactly. Just sew evenly around roughly. Take a look. This is the sample swatch after sewing. Then go back and forth through the fabric with stuffing inside a few times. Then tie a knot at the yarn tail. And pull this knot into the fabric interior. Trim off any excess yarn tails. So the yarn tail is hidden nicely. The assembly is complete. Next, let's tidy up the shape of the mesh board. Make the flower pot as round as possible. Up to this point, the entire flower pot is completely done. Next, let's look at the crocheting method for the floral foam. The floral foam consists of 2 layers, top and bottom. These 2 layers use the identical crochet technique. Crochet them separately first, then join them together for crocheting. Note that you need to complete all the top decorations first, before joining and crocheting. No new stitch techniques are used. Now let's crochet the upper layer of floral foam. Start with an adjustable magic ring. After completing, make 1 beginning chain. Work 7 single crochets into the magic ring. After completing, gently tighten the starting tail. Don't pull too tight. You'll need this small opening later. Then join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Pull tight. The first round is complete. Continue to crochet round 2. Make 1 beginning chain. Then work 7 single crochet increases. When crocheting, don't place the starting tail on top. After completing, join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Pull tight. Round 2 is complete. From now on until round 11, the techniques have all been demonstrated earlier. Refer to the pattern and finish the remaining part. Here's the sample swatch after completing the upper layer flower mud. Smooth it out flat. Put together the flower mud in the middle of the pot to fit well, if it's slightly larger than the pot opening. Take out 1 round. Once the size is confirmed, leave a yarn tail at least 4 times the circumference of the outer edge of the flower mud, for joining in round 12. This completes the upper layer flower mud. For the lower layer flower mud, simply pull tight the starting tail, leave a short tail and cut the yarn, then take out the grid board. You can compare it with the flower mud. Cut out a slightly smaller piece of grid board. Place the flower mud directly flush against the grid board. Then cut along the edge. Pay attention not to cut into the flower mud underneath. Or you can first draw a circle on the grid board, then cut out the circle. Now demonstrate the method of drawing a circle. Take a yarn tail slightly longer than the diameter of the flower mud. Fold it in half and tie a knot. Adjust the position of the knot. Make the loop slightly smaller than the radius of the flower mud. Then use a needle as the center point. Use a pen to mark the other end of the loop on the grid board. After drawing, double-check the size. Then cut along the marked line. Here I've already prepared one. Take a look at the grid board after cutting. It should be 1 round smaller than the outermost circle. Now the grid board for the flower mud is ready. Next, let's learn about decoration. Decorations include pot decoration and plant decoration. First, let's learn the pot decoration. It is divided into feet, ears, tail, nose, eyepieces and assembly. Among them, the ears and tail don't use any new stitch techniques or methods. Just follow the pattern chart to crochet. When there are a few rounds left, remember to add a small amount of stuffing inside. Now let's look at crocheting the feet. Start with a foundation chain of 4. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Next, watch the demonstration. First, make a foundation chain of 4. Two means begin crocheting from the second to last stitch. Pick up the top loop of the chain stitch above. Work 2 single crochets. Then make a W single crochet, 3 SC in 1, which means 3 single crochets into the same stitch. The 3 SC in 1 is now completed. Then rotate the piece. On the left side, pick up the other 2 strands at the chain. Crochet 1 single crochet. That is, insert the hook into the placement of the stitch below. Continue with 1 single crochet increase. After completing, join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. The first round is complete. Rounds 2 to 3 do not use any new stitch techniques. Refer to the pattern chart. This is the sample swatch after completing. Next, let's work the round 4. Make 1 beginning chain. Work 8 single crochets. Then, 4 Q bobble stitch using half double crochets. Here, the brackets indicate the stitches inside are worked into the same stitch. The way to make a 4-stitch bobble using half double crochets is, first work 4 incomplete half double crochets. Note, this stitch should be placed 1 stitch to the left, at the insertion point below, meaning into the stitch from round 2. While crocheting, wrap around the top layer of round 3. Yarn over. Insert the hook and pull the yarn through. Now 1 incomplete half double crochet is done. Slightly pull up the loop on the hook, then use your right index finger to press down the loop on the hook. Work another incomplete half double crochet. Yarn over. Insert the hook. Note, crochet into the same insertion point as before. Yarn over and draw through. Slightly pull up the loop. Another incomplete half double crochet is done. Continue working 2 more incomplete double crochets in the same position. While crocheting, press the loops on the hook with your right index finger. Keep going. Now you've completed 4 incomplete double crochets. A DC4 bobble stitch is done. Continue to work into the stitch from the previous round on the left side. Work 1 single crochet. Tighten slightly when crocheting. Flip the bobble stitch loop outward. Continue and work another DC4 bobble stitch. First, below the left stitch, at the position of round 2, work 4 incomplete double crochets. Pay attention to pull up the loops higher. After completing, yarn over and draw through all loops on the hook in once. A DC4 bobble stitch is completed. Then work 1 single crochet into the stitch from the previous round. On round 2, work another DC4 bobble stitch. Three single crochets. Join with a slip stitch afterward. This completes round 4. For the following round 5, work 8 single crochet decreases. After completing, stuff a small amount of fiberfill inside first. Then join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Next, leave a long tail and fasten off the yarn. Sew up to close the opening after completion. Thread the reserved yarn tail onto a yarn needle. Pick up stitches from front to back one by one, through the front loop of the last round stitches. Pull tight the yarn tail after picking up all stitches. Then pick up the adjacent segment and sew to secure. Transition the yarn tail to the back of the foot. This makes a bobble stitch using 4 half double crochets as the front of the foot. This completes one foot. Following this demonstration, crochet one more foot. Now let's crochet the nose. Start with a foundation chain, crocheting in rounds counterclockwise. The new stitch technique used is TV, half double crochet increase. Next, watch the demonstration. The first round of the nose is similar to the first round of the foot. Pay attention, the number of chains is different. Refer to the pattern chart. This is the sample after completing the first round. Continue to crochet round 2. Make 1 beginning chain. Work 1 SC2 in 1, 2 single crochets. 3 SC2 in 1. One single crochet. Then 2 TV means 2 HDC 2 in 1. The way to make a half double crochet increase is, work 2 half double crochets into the same stitch. The half double crochet increase is completed. Make another half double crochet increase. 1 SC2 in 1. After finishing, leave a 10 cm yarn tail and cut the yarn. Pull the yarn tail out directly. Then thread the reserved yarn tail onto a darning needle. Sew to close the opening. Insert the needle from front to back into the second stitch. Then insert into the position where the yarn tail is located. Gently tighten. So that the segment on the surface forms one braid. This way, the sewing and finishing is complete. You can pick up strands on the wrong side to secure it. Now the nose is done. Next, work on the eyepiece. Start with a chain stitch. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The new stitch technique used is TW half double crochet 1 in 3. Now, let's show. The first round of the eyepiece is similar to the first round of the foot. Pay attention to the number of starting chains being different. This is the sample after completing the first round. Continue to crochet round 2. Make 1 beginning chain. Make a single crochet increase. 1 single crochet. 2 half double crochets. 1 TWHDC 3 in 1. That means work 3 half double crochets into the same stitch. Now the half double crochet 1 in 3 is complete. Continue to follow the pattern chart to finish this round. After completing, leave a 10 cm yarn tail and cut the yarn. Then sew and fasten off. The method is demonstrated in the nose section. Just secure the yarn tail as shown in the previous demonstration. That's all for the eyepiece. After completing the flower pot decoration, now it's time to assemble. Place the beginning chain of the flower pot at the back. Do the assembly on the front side. Start by sewing on the eyes. Take the corresponding yarn and thread it through a yarn needle. Locate round 9 of the flower pot. Count 4 to 5 stitches from the middle towards each side. Mark with stitch markers. Meaning there are 9 to 10 stitches between these two markers. Adjust the number of stitches according to your preference. Now start by sewing the left eye. Leave a yarn tail on the outside of the flower pot. Then at the marked stitch position, sew 4 to 5 vertical lines upward over 2 rounds. One eye is now complete. After finishing, bring the needle out through the spot where you left the tail. Tie the 2 yarn tails together and hide the knot inside the flower pot. Trim excess tail. Now take out the eyepiece. With the yarn tail on the right side, position the starting chain horizontally. At the first round, left stitch position. Stitch the eye with single crochets, skipping 2 stitches between each, vertically spaced. Sew the eye in place. Then tie a knot and cut the thread. The eyes are now finished. Next, on the second round of the eyepiece, on the lower right side of the eye, slantingly sew 2 blush lines. Leave 2 stitches apart between the 2 blush lines. Secure the yarn after finishing. Here, leave a little tail from the eyepiece, and then cut it off. Then glue the eyepiece onto the previously marked eye position. Mine is just a sample for demonstration, so I won't be gluing it down. Pay attention to aligning both eyes when attaching. Use only a small amount of glue to prevent excess glue from oozing out. Glue all yarn tails to the wrong side of the fabric. Then continue on the left side of the eye on the flower pot. Slantingly sew 2 blush lines. Secure the yarn after sewing. Now both sides of blush are done. Then at the lower sides of the blush areas, around rounds 3 to 5 of the flower pot, horizontally sew on 2 legs. Remember to keep the right side of the legs facing up. Sewing method is random, just secure them firmly. The exact position can be adjusted according to personal preference. Weave in ends and cut the yarn. Now one leg is sewn on. Following this demonstration, sew on the other leg as well. Next, take out the ears. Pay attention to closing the opening. Once completed, place the side with the slip stitch downward. Then position it properly. Here, place them on both sides of the legs near the opening of the pot. Use stitch markers to secure the position of both ears. Make sure the ears are symmetrical, then sew the edge of the ear closest to the pot. About the last 3 rounds of the ear. Weave in ends and cut the yarn. Now one ear is sewn on. Following this demonstration, sew on the other ear as well. Then take out the nose. Thread the yarn tail of the nose onto a darning needle and set aside for use. Place the starting row horizontally, with the yarn tail on the right side, then position the nose. Attach it slightly below the middle between the eyes. I'm using a sample swatch here for demonstration, so I won't actually attach it. After attaching, bring the needle close to the inner side of the nose. Insert into the inside of the pot. Then draw through from the bottom right corner. Skip 1 stitch and insert at the bottom left corner. This creates the mouth. The position of the mouth can be adjusted according to personal preference. Once the position is confirmed, dip the needle in alcohol glue and attach it slightly along the segment. To give it a gentle curve. Then weave in ends and cut the yarn. Now the nose and mouth are assembled. Finally, sew on the tail. Locate the back center of the front face. At the lower part of the pot, attach the tail at this position. Refer to the previous demonstration for the sewing method used for the ears. Pay attention, the tail should be placed horizontally. Refer to the earlier demonstration. Once the tail is securely sewn. Next, let's learn how to make the plant decorations. Divided into small sunflowers, large sunflowers, sunflower calyx, sunflower leaves. roses, small roses, rose calyx, rose leaves, eucalyptus single leaf, eucalyptus double leaf, and then assembly. Let's start learning how to crochet the small sunflower. The small sunflower is divided into the flower core and petals. First, let's look at how to crochet the flower core. Cast on an adjustable magic ring, crocheting in rounds counterclockwise. No new stitch techniques are used. The stitches for the first 3 rounds have all been demonstrated before. Refer to the pattern chart. Here's what the completed swatch looks like. Continue to crochet the 4th round. This round is crocheted around the front loops left from round 2. Take the corresponding yarn and make a slip knot. Locate the front loops remaining from round 2. Pick up any strand and pull through to form a loop. Now the yarn is joined. Then work 3 chains. Next, make 1 slip stitch in the joining stitch. The stitches inside the brackets are completed. Continue with 3 chains. Make 1 slip stitch in the next stitch. Now you've completed another repeat. Continue repeating in each stitch below. Work 3 chains and 1 slip stitch in each stitch around. Crochet this entire round to finish. After completing, leave a yarn tail and fasten off. Then weave the yarn tail to the wrong side of the piece. Now the sunflower motif is complete. Follow this crochet method. Crochet the remaining number needed and set aside for later use. Next, crochet the small sunflower petals. Crocheting in rounds on the sunflower motif. Divided into 2 layers, upper and lower. As you crochet, wrap the wire with yarn. No new stitch techniques are used. Now, let's show. Start with the upper layer petals. Take the corresponding yarn. Locate the 3rd round of the flower core. Join the yarn to the front loop of the stitch. For this round of the upper petals, pick up the front loop of each stitch. Continue to crochet 1 slip stitch to the left. The oval-shaped slip stitches in the diagram all indicate not to tighten. Next, chain 4. After completing, starting from the 2nd to last chain, pick up the strand above. Work a loose slip stitch. Once the chain space is completed, keep the yarn behind. Rotate the crochet hook counterclockwise. Attach yarn at the right side. Make 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. Then chain 1 to begin. Take out the wire. Place it on the left side chain braid. Crochet and wrap it in as you go. Below, pick up the other 2 strands of the left chain braid, which is the same place where you made the slip stitch earlier. Work 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, work 3 single crochets in the left side chain. After completing, rotate the piece. On the left side chain, which is where the slip stitch was made, crochet 1 half double crochet, 1 single crochet. After finishing, make 1 slip stitch at the bottom where the previous slip stitch is. Pull tight. At this point, consider the completed part as one group of petals. Now I'll demonstrate another group. First, slip stitch 2 stitches to the left. Pay attention not to pull too tight. After completing, work 4 chain stitches. Then from the second stitch from your hook, pick up the chain and make a slip stitch. After finishing, leave the yarn behind. Rotate the crochet hook counterclockwise. At these 2 slip stitches, insert the hook into the right stitch. Make 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. Then chain 1 to begin. Continue wrapping the wire. Pick up the left side chain, and work 1 single crochet. One half double crochet. From the left side chain, work 3 single crochets. Rotate the piece. Work 1 half double crochet in the left side chain. 1 single crochet. After completing, at the slip stitch below, make 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. This completes the second petal. Repeat the method of the second group of petals downward. Finish crocheting this round. Now the upper layer of petals is completed. Do not cut the yarn tail and the wire. Continue crocheting the lower layer of petals. Place the upper layer of petals in front. Find the joining point of the upper petal. The remaining back loop of the stitch. Work 1 slip stitch on it. Then repeat the crochet method of the upper petals. Finish this round. When making the first slip stitch to the right here, pick the stitch to the right of the joining point. Crochet the remaining back loops. Then continue crocheting while wrapping the wire. The rest is identical to the upper layer petal technique. Continue all the way down to complete this round. After completing the lower petals, secure the yarn and fasten off. Cut the wire after leaving a distance. Bring the wire and yarn tail of the upper petals to the back. Tidy up. Now both upper and lower layers of petals are completed. Next, twist these 2 wires together for 2 rounds. Trim off the excess. Now the small sunflower is completed. The large sunflower is similar to the small one in crochet method, also divided into the flower core and upper and lower layers of petals. Only the number of chain stitches for the petals varies slightly. Following the previous demonstration, refer to the chart, crochet the large sunflower and finish it. Next, crochet the sunflower calyx. Start with a magic ring, crocheting in rounds counterclockwise. The new technique used is skip stitches. Now, let's show. The first 4 rounds of the sunflower calyx have been demonstrated before. Refer to the chart. I've already crocheted the sample swatch in advance. Continue to crochet round 5, chain 4. Then start from the second to last stitch. Pick up the top loop of the chain. Make 1 slip stitch. 1 single crochet, 1/2 double crochet. This completes the part on the chain stitches. Here skip the first and second stitches of the previous round. Then work 1 slip stitch in the next stitch. The group inside the parentheses is completed. I'll demonstrate the technique for one group again. Chain 4. Then start from the second to last stitch. Make 1 slip stitch, 1 single crochet and 1/2 double crochet. Then skip 2 stitches on the left side. Work 1 slip stitch in the next stitch. Another group is completed. Repeat the same group pattern downward. Finish crocheting this round. After completing, secure the yarn and fasten off. The sunflower calyx is finished. Follow this crochet method. Crochet the remaining number needed and set aside. Now let's crochet the sunflower leaves. Begin with a foundation chain, crocheting in rounds counterclockwise. The new stitch technique used is F double crochet. Next, watch the demonstration. First make 9 chains. Then start from the second to last stitch. Pick up the top loop of the chains. Work 1 single crochet, 1/2 double crochet, 4 double crochets. One-half double crochet, three SC in 1, then rotate the piece. On the left side chain, pick up the remaining strand, which is the stitch where the next row will be worked into. Work 1/2 double crochet, 4 double crochets. One-half double crochet and 1 single crochet increase. Finish with a slip stitch in the first stitch. The first round is complete. Now crochet round 2. First, cut a piece of wire to the desired length. Then make 1 chain. Refer to the pattern chart and complete this round. While crocheting, place the wire over your hook. Wrap them together. When crocheting to the middle section, roughly fold the wire in half. Then continue working the remaining parts. After completing, join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Then secure the yarn and cut the yarn. This way the sunflower leaf is completed. Next, move on to demonstrate the yarn wrapping method for the stiff sunflower leaf. Take some glue with your finger, and apply it onto the wire. Apply the glue in small amounts multiple times. To prevent excess glue from oozing out, take the corresponding yarn and wrap it around. Leave a yarn tail first before wrapping. The length of the wrapping here is approximately the part that needs to be exposed. You can continue wrapping a bit more. Then trim off the excess yarn tail. Finally, tie a knot on the wire to secure it. This way the wrapping is completed. Follow the crochet method shown here. Crochet the remaining required number and set aside for later use. Next, let's look at the small rows and large rows. The crochet method is almost identical. Both begin with a chain stitch of 9. Work back and forth in rows. Only the number of starting chains differs. No new stitches or techniques are used. Below, I'll demonstrate the crocheting method using the small rows as an example. Make 9 chains to start. Then begin from the second to last stitch. Pick up the top loop of the chain. Work 8 single crochets. The first row is completed. Continue to the second row, work 3 chains. Corresponding to the last stitch of the previous row, turn the work over. Continue to work 5 double crochets in this position. One single crochet in the left side stitch. Next, crochet the stitch pattern inside the parentheses. Skip 1 stitch. Work 5 double crochets in the left side stitch. Then 1 single crochet. This completes one group inside the parentheses. Repeat the stitch pattern inside the parentheses once more. After completing, leave a longer yarn tail, and cut the yarn. The second row is finished. Now thread the reserved yarn tail onto a darning needle, with the wrong side of the second row facing out. Roll the small rose motif inward. Sew the bottom of the small rows together using the needle. Sew a few more times, making sure the petals won't come apart. Then tie a knot to secure. Trim off any excess yarn tails. Now the small rose is made. Follow the demonstration shown here for the rest. Complete the remaining roses. Note that after crocheting and rolling, the roses should be larger than the small one. Secure it several times, just enough to keep the piece from unraveling. Now let's crochet the rose calyx. Start with an adjustable magic ring, crocheting in rounds counterclockwise. The new stitch technique used is CH1 picket. Next, watch the demonstration. First, work the first round. After making a magic ring, crochet 5 single crochets into the ring. Pull the ring tight and join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. The first round is complete. Move on to round 2. Work 2 chains. In the first stitch of the previous round, continue with 1/2 double crochet. Then 1 CH1 picket. The way to make this stitch is, work 1 chain. After completing it, pick the front loop of the 1/2 double crochet below, and the thread on the left side. Make 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. The CH1 picket is completed. Work 2 chains. Make 1 slip stitch at the placement of stitches, for the 1/2 double crochet. This completes the stitch pattern within the brackets. Let me demonstrate once again. Work 2 chains, then work 1/2 double crochet in the stitch on the left side. 1 CH1 picket. Work 1 chain. Slip the front loop of the stitch below and the left side strand. Make 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. The CH1 picket is completed. Work 2 chains. Make 1 slip stitch at the insertion point below. This completes another repetition of the pattern within the brackets. Repeat this stitch pattern to complete the round. Once completed, secure the yarn and cut the yarn. Now the calyx of the rose is finished. Next, work the rose leaves. The method is identical to the first round of the sunflower leaf. Only difference is wrapping the wire after completing the foundation chain. After finishing, wrap the yarn around the wire as well. The making method can refer to the crocheting of the sunflower leaf. That's all for the rose leaves. Now let's move on to eucalyptus. One stem of eucalyptus consists of a single eucalyptus leaf at the top, and double eucalyptus leaves below. The crochet method for the single leaf has been demonstrated before. Refer to the pattern chart. Pay attention, after completing the foundation chain, wrap the wire before continuing to crochet. For the double leaf, don't cut the yarn, work 2 leaves continuously. No new stitch techniques are used. Now watch me demonstrate the crocheting method for the eucalyptus double leaf. First, make a foundation chain of 5 stitches. Once completed, start from the second stitch from your hook. Pick up the top loop of the chain, and draw through to make 1 single crochet, 2 half double crochets, 3 single crochets in 1 stitch, SC3 in 1. Rotate the piece. On the left side of the chain, insert the hook and work 2 half double crochets. 1 single crochet increase, SC2 in 1. Then make 1 chain space. Next, make a foundation chain of 5 stitches. Start from the second stitch from your hook. Work 1 single crochet, 2 half double crochets, 3 single crochets in 1 stitch, SC3 in 1. Rotate the piece at the third stitch. Then, on the left side of the chain, work 2 half double crochets, 1 single crochet increase, SC2 in 1. After completing, leave a yarn tail and fasten off. Proceed to sew and finish off. Here, simply tuck the yarn tail into the wrong side of the piece. Trim excess tail. That's how 1 eucalyptus double leaf is crocheted. Next, I'll demonstrate the assembly method for the eucalyptus double leaf. Take out the eucalyptus single leaf. Insert the wire of the eucalyptus single leaf through both sides of the middle chain space of the eucalyptus double leaf, separated by the chain stitch. Pay attention, the right side of the eucalyptus double leaf should be facing up. How many eucalyptus double leaves you need? That's how many you attach. After attaching, twist the wire to secure it. Then wrap the yarn above. Wrap until reaching the desired position. Slide up 1 eucalyptus double leaf. Tidy up the shape. From the side without the chain stitch, place the wrapped yarn underneath. Then continue wrapping the yarn above. Take a look. The eucalyptus double leaf is added in this way, while wrapping the yarn. Next, let's look at the actual project. Here there are 5 eucalyptus single leaves, meaning there are 5 eucalyptus sprigs. The number of eucalyptus double leaves on each sprig can be adjusted according to personal preference, and the position can also be adjusted as you prefer. Refer to the actual project or your personal preference. Following the previous demonstration, crochet the remaining eucalyptus single and double leaves, and secure them in place. That's all for the eucalyptus. Next, let's move on to assembling the plant decorations. First, assemble the large and small sunflowers with the sunflower calyx. The installation method is the same for all. I'll demonstrate the assembly using the small sunflower as an example. First, cut off the longer yarn tail. Cut a piece of wire to the desired length. Pass it through the center from the wrong side of the sunflower. If it's hard to pass through, use a sewing needle to pick up a few threads. Be mindful not to go through to the front side. You can pick up more line segments if needed. Once done, fold the wire in half. Then tighten the wire. Once the wire is threaded, cut another small piece of wire. Wrap the yarn around the crochet hook handle. Remove the wire. Thread it onto the sunflower's wire as support. Then take out the sunflower calyx. Trim off excess yarn tails. Place the wrong side facing the small sunflower. Pass the wire through the starting point of the calyx. Then apply a bit of glue to the backside of the calyx. Pay attention not to apply glue at the edges. Then attach it to the small sunflower. Remember to tuck the yarn tails inside as well. Press for a while to secure it more firmly. Now the small sunflower and calyx are assembled together. Next, take another piece of yarn and wrap it around the wire above. Continue adding sunflower leaves while wrapping. Adjust the position according to personal preference. Now one small sunflower branch is assembled. Assemble the large sunflower following the demonstration shown here. Now let's move on to the large and small roses and rose calyx. First, at the center of the backside of the flower, thread the wire through, fold it in half, then insert into the back of the calyx. After that, wrap the yarn around the wire. Refer to the previously demonstrated method for the wrapping technique. Once all the decorative elements are wrapped, place them together and wrap them as a group. Before wrapping, tidy up the position of the decorations. Refer to the actual project for exact placement, or adjust according to personal preference. Note that when wrapping, don't wrap the entire length of the wire. Stop wrapping once you reach the desired plant height. Here I'm using a random stem to demonstrate the assembly after wrapping is complete. The actual plant shape is not for reference. Take out the top layer of floral foam. You can use a crochet hook to enlarge the center slightly. Creating a larger hole. Then insert the plant from the front side. After inserting, bend the wire around the small hole as the center. Fold the wire outward in all directions. If any part extends beyond the outer edge of the floral foam, make sure to bend it inward. After completing, gently tighten the starting tail. Once the tail is secured, take out the mesh board prepared earlier. Apply glue onto the mesh board. And attach the top layer of floral foam. Continue applying glue onto the mesh board. Then glue on the bottom layer of floral foam. Make sure the upper and lower layers of floral foam are aligned. Press for a while to glue more securely. After waiting for it to be firmly attached, pick up the reserved yarn tail from the upper layer of floral foam. Pull the yarn through. Then go to the left. Insert your hook through the corresponding stitches of both layers of floral foam. Work slip stitches, not tightened, evenly into each stitch. Continue all the way around. When done, leave a yarn tail and fasten off. Then weave in the ends. Now the plant decoration is assembled. Once completed, you can bend the wire of the plant into your desired shape according to personal preference. Bend the wire into the shape you like. Up to this point, this potted planter organizer has been fully explained. If you still have unclear parts during the crocheting process, don't hesitate to join our Facebook group to get supports. Susan's Family. Susan's Family. Supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.